The Le Mans review, MotoGP mixed with a bit of Warzone. I'm Pinpoint UK, here to talk about MotoGP and try and mix in a few gameplays with, well, on Warzone. We shall see. I've tried to sort of fix the audio now. So hopefully it's coming through a little bit better. But yeah, if you've got any sort of feedback, then sort of say in the chat, and that would be great, and hopefully we can get it sort of right, really. So yeah, I'm just setting up my chat. But yeah, today's talking a little bit about the race. Talk a little bit about Miller and Bagnaia, Ducati, and is it just them for the championship? Are they able to go for the championship? And then finishing off with a look at the kind of main people within the championship. Let's get the chat up. Pop that out, and here I am. So
get yourself sorted.
Had a nice day. We've had a bit of lightning in the local area, and we've already had the power guard one. So if I do go and go away very quickly, then the reason why. Plan on to be here until 9 o'clock. So yeah, let's back and talk about AGP.
Hostile dropping into the area.
Sunday
Watch
night.
the skies.
My win count on Warzone has gone up by 3. I think I started off on 25.
Alright, that's enough mucking about. Now we do this for real.
Stream. I had a 12 kill win on stream. We have won another 2 since I'm on 28, I believe. So it's been going relatively well. I'm already getting feedback. You can't hear me very well, so let's just try and sort that out very quickly. Where are we? Devices. Oh, that's because right. Hopefully that is better. If you just let me know. Right. We will drop from west. This is my starting drop for a lot of the time. Just basically because there's not a huge amount of people that drop here.
Hostile dropping into the area. Your primary objective is to...
Well, didn't expect him to be there. So yeah, good start. Usually not many people drop on there, so I'm assuming that there was some kind of scout, but we'll do our best. In fact, this morning I played a few games and didn't have the best of days, so finished off with a 10 kill win, but yeah, it wasn't particularly great other than that, to be honest. So try and warm up a little bit.
Welcome to the Gulag.
Using the Gulag, hopefully get our first kill. So yeah, really good race today.
Win here and you return to the front
just try and get
you lose, your fight is over.
It's probably my worst
You're
gun.
up, soldier. Now go sort this fucker out.
Expecting is up there, yeah.
Stand by for
Got the job done. Yeah, really good race, and look, before I even start going through everything, it is
Be
a Le Mans
advised, enemy team
review,
is tracking your location.
so I am going to spoil it for you.
Scavenger contract marked.
If you don't know the results. So if you are wanting to watch the race and not know the result, then please turn off, basically. So yeah, the race was fantastic. The one thing about what we call a flag-to-flag race, oh, that's not good. It always brings a lot of excitement. That's one good. It is a scavenger.
Firebox identified. Marking location now.
Yeah, always brings a lot of excitement. Oh, that's good. That scav's gone, so that bounty's gone even. Bit concerned that somebody already has been here. Trying to get the second weapon. Always brings a lot of excitement, those sort of races, and it didn't disappoint. It was amazing. Obviously, Miller getting his second win in as many races. Yeah, really happy for Miller. He's a really, seems to be down to earth guy. Seems to be a really down to earth guy. Finally. And yeah, he's, you know, fair play to him. He's done it the hard way. By coming up through the ranks, kind of leaving his home country very early on. So yeah, fair play to him. He's done. Oh, I heard somebody there. He's done really well. Really pleased to him. He comes across as a kind of very likeable guy. Everybody who actually talks about Jack says exactly the same. Really down to earth guy. Useful dead silence there. Still not hearing anybody, so that's good. And he took advantage of, you know, the situation, the conditions that
new objective identified.
Do tend to suit him. He has done very well. Obviously, his first win in Assen in, I think it was 2016, was in the wet, and where that is a really good weapon to have picked up. He took advantage of the situation, and you know, delivered when he kind of needed to, really. And he has been under a huge amount. That's huge. A huge amount of pressure. The season didn't start particularly well for him, so you know, he was under quite a bit.
All supply boxes found. Solid work.
Quite a bit of pressure to up his game, and he's really shown that he's been able to do that. I keep hearing. Sure, I keep hearing footsteps, but nothing at the moment. No. Okay, right. Let's get to this buy station. So yeah, really pleased for Jack. He managed the race well in most parts. Well, that's definitely somebody over there. Let's go and get the loadout.
Friendly loadout spot on the way.
Marked a buy station.
I'm trying to rank up the N94. Can't see anybody yet down here. I know there is somebody.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Yeah, he obviously had his off when he just slightly, well, say slightly, seems like his own admission, the interview that I've actually seen, the only one I've been able to see actually.
Friendly loadout drop on the way. The new safe zone.
Whew. That was let's see, so okay.
Area recon coming up.
UAV entering the AO.
Yeah, he overshot by some distance when he went off, but yeah, he stayed very. Okay, where? Okay, there's nobody literally near that loadout, which means either there's nobody near the loadout,
RTB for resupply.
or someone's got ghost early, which wouldn't be ideal. I'm not sure about this AN94 actually. I'm trying to rank it up, but I tend to use assault rifles as the kind of longer range weapon in my my two weapons. So tend to put a 3 times on, and so I need.
Enemy dropping into the AO. Gas is closing in.
Means. I mean, it didn't work too badly there, but yeah, let's face it. And you've got 2 plates on, and at that sort of range, that's not exactly the range that I need it to be working.
Enemy
So there we
UAV
are.
overhead.
So yeah, he overshot it. He then sped into the pit lane, probably due to the the amount of adrenaline going through his system after he had just gone off and nearly sort of chucked it in the bin. Nobody on a ray, I don't think. Right, I need to work out what I'm doing here. And yeah, and it looked like he realised he had made a mistake coming into the pits. Made a mistake when he came into the pits. He kind of gesticulated, although, to be fair, that could just be Jack, to be honest. That's why we all like him. Even before he started, he's there banging his fist against his leathers. So yeah, it was great. It was really good. Well managed situation from Jack. Obviously with the speeding. Did I hear something then? Did I hear something then? Probably not. Oh, definitely someone up there then. Where's that coming from? Probably there.
Setting waypoint.
Ooh. yeah, let's just say Jack knew he'd done. Oh god, I need dead silence there. He knew he'd done it. He had then 2 long lap penalties to get over, which he did. And yeah, when you kind of see the actual times that he was doing compared to Kontaro, it was, you know, it was night and day, to be honest. He was so much faster than Kontaro, and you know, there's a few probably reasons for that. One of which, Kontaro hasn't really been in MotoGP when it has been wet, for one. So it was all very, very new for him. Whereas Jack, he is a wet specialist, you'd say. It's not something that I don't think the riders like to be. I don't think the riders like to be tagged with that. Where are we? Okay, I'm going to have to go towards the stadium.
Gas is closing in. Relocating the safe zone.
Have we got anybody around? Doesn't look like it. So yeah, not many people like to be hit with the moniker, you know, great wet weather rider or changeable. But yeah, when it does happen, it's a bit of a compliment, I think. If you can ride in the wet, yeah, even on the road, if you own a motorcycle yourself.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Got a guy over here. If you ride a motorcycle on the road, when it's wet, it is one of the most scariest things you can do. All it takes is a little bit of a slip.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Where's this guy gone? All it takes is one little slip.
Losing ground.
You know, obviously we're nowhere near as good as MotoGP riders, and we never will be, but still, it gives you an indication of how hard it really is to do. Talk about one bullet. Yeah, I think the Krig would have probably had him there, to be honest. No, the AN just doesn't seem to hit hard. Yeah, I do, you know, going back to what I was saying, I do take it as a compliment. It means that you have a real good feel for what's going on with the motorcycle. And you know, it should be seen as a really positive thing. But yeah, I know a lot of riders don't see it that way. I don't think is probably the nicest way. You could say. Zarco coming second. You know, kind of brought him back into contention, really. So obviously he had the off at Portimao. He, when explaining kind of what happened at Portimao, it sounded like he'd made a mistake, and I think he went down to first gear rather than second, and that caused the rear to just spin up a little bit and send him off and go into that low side that, you know, where he lost it. Yeah, people make mistakes, and obviously in motorcycle racing, if you make a mistake, it can very quickly go wrong, and it can very quickly mean that you've scored no points versus what he was potentially on there. He was potentially on for sort of 15, 20 points. So motorcycle racing is tough from that point of view. I'm in the middle of nowhere here. I need to.
Requesting recon on my position.
UAV entering the
Showing
AO.
in here. That's good, but I don't necessarily believe it at this point in the game because there's a lot of people running ghosts like me. I've got coming from there. I've got one in bank.
Gas is moving in. New safe zone located.
Be advised, UAV is bingo fuel. RTB for resupply.
Kind of over there.
Waypoint marked. Move.
Tough push that.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Wow. Why just get on blue here? Or what's now known as red. There's a big red building here. Just doesn't sound like anyone's been in here. Although this door's open, so someone definitely has.
You've got gas moving in. Enemy UAV overhead.
Okay, so we have one over there and we had one in bank. Bank, I don't think I can see. Oh, there's that guy. What's the betting he's not going to come out of there and show himself for too long? Okay, let's go over here then. No, there's definitely shots. Oh, there's one there.
Hostile patrol.
Take this on. Can't see anyone here now, which is worrying, because he will start to wrap this way. Jesus. Right, where are you going? Are you going to wrap around there? Okay.
Gas is inbound. Marking new safe zone. Loadout drop inbound.
Not in a really bad spot here. Not in the greatest, but not bad. I've got a plate box on me, which is a good thing to have. Let him go, I don't want to
Enemy
bring
UAV
much
overhead.
attention to myself.
You've got gas moving in.
Yes, AM does not hit hard enough.
inbound. Marking new safe zone. To the left. Keep the pressure on.
Right, I need to move here. I need to move here.
Enemy precision airstrike. Take cover.
Look out!
Only 5 remain. Finish the job.
Oh, I can't believe that. The gas mask got me there. Oh, that's good. That's a good 7-kill game to start off. So yeah, Zarko did really well. He's one of them. He's back in the championship, and I think the Ducatis are really strong. We'll obviously, move on to that slightly later, but he's back in the game. I'm just going to take my. Can't have that on there. Could have the Odin, I suppose. It's not really long. Let's try that one because I haven't leveled that one up at all. And I can use the suppressor. That's fine. Not too worried about that. Doesn't have a huge amount of. Okay, let's try that. Let's get going into a game. So Zarko, he's back in the game. He looks really strong with the package on the Ducati. I don't know if I think he's on the brand new Ducati, but obviously being in the satellite team, he will have updates coming a bit later than everybody else. So whether we can sort of stay as we kind of move through the year, if the factory team for Miller and Bagnaia do get some good bits and good parts that do improve the performance, then I think he will struggle to keep up that momentum. But Morbidelli on the A-Spec 2-year-old Yamaha came second last year, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. And Zarko can probably just keep going with the stuff he's got, really learn it, and really learn how to take advantage of it. So, he could be one for the title. The Ducati is really strong. But the race that he actually put together, he didn't do anything silly. He just kind of built up his momentum, and he got a second. And being in your home country, getting a second, I think that's really, really positive from his point of view. It's just a shame that the fans weren't there to see it. And to round out the podium, it was Contaro. Had a fantastic start. They looked really strong in the dry, and then it went wet, and he was pretty quick. Miller was faster. You can't really sort of take that away from him. Miller was faster than him in the full wet, but Contaro, as we said before, he hasn't got that experience. He hasn't got that experience yet, and so it was all new for him. He did look good for most of the race, and he held on to that third really well. He wasn't really under a huge amount of pressure, even though he was being caught quite quickly by Bagnaia, who came fourth. He's back in the championship. Obviously, we didn't really see a huge amount for the arm pump, and to be honest, he did. He if you wanted a race and a type of race after having arm pump surgery, that's exactly the race you want. So yeah, it worked out pretty well for Taro there. Notable kind of other performances between Bagnaia. Properly good World Championship ride. Could have been a really poor day, starting 16th on the grid. He rode to perfection, really, I'd say, as good as sort of Miller. And yeah, he did deserve to come in fourth. So yeah, really pleased with him, and a really mature ride from a young, still very, very young rider. So Bagnaia did well. He was then Bossy, and it looked good in the early stages. Really looked good. But then just sort of tailed off that he had an issue with Morbidelli. Morbidelli was a bit, I think, too much. It all started obviously from the Paul Espargaro incident.
Targets are up. Get to work.
It all started with the Espargaro incident, where he kind of got it very wrong. Kind of came in with Valli and Morbidelli, and I think Morbidelli wanted to take advantage of the situation. In my opinion, made a mistake, and I rate Morbidelli. Don't get me wrong, I think he's an absolutely brilliant rider, and Yamaha need to keep hold of him. Probably something that we will discuss at another point on a future stream. The state of where Yamaha must be thinking and want to put their support behind. Morbidelli is top class rider, and you can see, now I can pick up. Can't say no to them. So yeah, really, probably just a little bit too exuberant, and it forced Morbidelli off, and it also forced Valli off as well. I didn't actually see kind of exactly what happened, but he definitely went down. He went down to 13th at that point from a very sort of good-looking 7th position, and has he gone down the stairs, or has he stayed up here? I think he went down the stairs.
Losing ground. team is hunting you. Stay alert.
That's very lucky. That was incredible. Oh, someone behind me. How unlucky is that? Yeah, slightly unlucky there. But yeah, so yeah, Rossi, and you know, the whole weekend actually looked pretty good for Rossi. I was on stream just last week saying that I thought that that was really it. I still think that he probably needs to kind of hand the factory bike over at the end of the year, unless obviously he starts winning and gets absolutely sort of crazy. But I think it's just time for Virgil, you know, to sort of retire. And yeah, he enjoys it, and you can understand why he wants to carry on. But yeah, it's just probably that time now.
You're up, soldier. Fuck her out. Stand by for redeployment.
So yeah, that's kind of my sort of take on it, really. Bad, obviously, day for Suzuki. Poor weekend, and Rins sort of both DNFs. Hospital.
Scavenger contact marked.
You know, they need to. Yeah, Mir's been pretty consistent, and he is one of the most consistent riders on the grid, I think. That's what won in the championship last year. But you can't have too many of those, especially when, you know, there's a few teams that look very, very strong. And yeah, Marquez as well. Oh, I mean, he was so. You say unlucky. Probably unlucky is not the right sort of word for it, really. He was Marquez of old.
Supply box identified. Marking location now.
And that was really pleasing to see. There's been a lot of talk about could Marquez come back, etc. I think today it proves that he can, and it won't be long until he's back right at the front every race. He's still got.
Objectives updated. Move to the next location.
Still got a bit of work to do on that arm, and yeah, overall the confidence as well.
Next objective located.
Overall the confidence, yeah, will need to come back, but let's face it.
UAV overhead. Gas is moving in. New safe zone located.
He is just amazing when he's on song as well. Yeah, when he's on song, he's a wonder to behold. I still don't actually know how it's even possible to do the things that he does. Cal Crutchlow always used to say that, you know, he crashed about 3 times a lap. And yeah, he obviously doesn't nearly crash 3 times a lap, but that's sort of how on the limit I think he rides. That's all he knows. So yeah, he has.
Primary objective accomplished. All supply boxes found. Gas is closing in.
He will be back, and it was good to see him. It was good to see him just let loose, look like the old Marquez again. Oh, is that on the top there? Can I get?
Bounty target identified. Slot the bastard.
Okay, come on, over there. So yeah, that's my kind of roundup of kind of what went on. At Le Mans in 2021. Fantastic race. Lots of things going on. Got to be conscious here that I don't have my Ghost class. Yeah, and he's going to be up there, isn't he? It's going to be a difficult push.
You've got a loadout drop inbound. Enemy UAV overhead. Fire sale is active. Buy station costs are adjusted. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead.
I'm not going to push this bounty because it's just got suicide all over. So yeah, next to talk about, you know, Miller or Bagnight for the championship.
We lost the target. Fire sale's done. Prices are back to normal.
It's
Gas is inbound. Marking new safe zone.
it's definitely a possibility for them. It really is. The Ducati works really well, and it's been strong in a number of different tracks. You know, to be good in Portimao, to be good in Jerez, where, as we know, they're not very strong at all, usually, historically, and just generally you'd think that actually Jerez is a track that needs a setup of a bike which is, oh, this is dodgy, this is swamping out. It needs a bike that can turn well,
Losing ground.
be stable on the side of the tyre, like the Yamaha, and obviously, you know, if Kontaro hadn't had the arm pump issue, I am pretty convinced that we'd have seen Kontaro win last.
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead.
It's good I've got my ghost class now, so I can not worry as much. You know, the fact that they have been able to pull, you know, the Kontaro, if he had won in Jerez, Jack Miller would still have came second.
Mark the buy station. Requesting recon on my position.
UAV entering the AO.
There's no one going to rotate here. Yeah, there we are. So we've got two there. Got three.
Be advised, UAV is bingo fuel. RTB for
Setting
resupply.
Waypoint. Oh, there might be three of them rotating, kind of makes me think I should kind of stay and kind of have a look at this, but the other hand, three with an Odin would be pretty tricky with the 25 round mag. And it's not the best place, this. I'm very kind of exposed left and right. I've got quite a good kind of view of people coming towards me, but quite easily
Enemy
flanked.
UAV overhead.
I could put a UAV up as well. Let's just see if I can spot any. I haven't heard any. I haven't heard any shots either, which is weird. 3 people in the same building. You'd think that when someone jumps out, you'd kind of hear a few shots. Still can't see anything.
Gas is closing in. Relocating the safe zone.
Area recon coming up.
UAV entering the AO.
Kind of saw him late for some reason. There's 2 over there, so I'm probably going to end up.
Setting waypoint.
Be advised, UAV is bingo fuel. RTB for resupply.
Kind of should be looking around really, as there could be ghosted people. That down there.
Losing ground.
Sure, just saw somebody there, surely.
Airstrike target marked.
This is Striker 3-1, good job. Strike inbound. Shots missed.
Gas is closing. Get to the new safe zone. Got a loadout drop inbound.
Can't see him.
Enemy UAV overhead.
I think I'll pick him up. Kind of this way.
Gas is moving.
Whoa!
I need patching up. Good already.
No chance.
25 remain.
No chance.
They hit us hard that time.
Couldn't see him. Couldn't see him. Didn't see him. Oh well. So yeah. Ducati have got a amazing bike now. It works everywhere, seemingly. They'll probably have some off days, but yeah, so will other manufacturers. Miller, looking at the riders, Miller, he's shown his class in the last 2 races, really, and he's always had a lot of confidence in if he could get a factory ride, he would be able to prove that he should be at the factory, and he should be, one of the lead riders. And there's nothing, he's had a couple of, he had a poor start to the season. But sometimes you can expect that, and he's come back and he's answered it. He's answered the critics. He was on a 1-year factory contract. They were talking about in the race today. They were already talking about Ducati dropping him for next year, and he's come back. You know that there was a lot of pressure, and obviously Hervé helped, but he won this one, completely fair and square. Could he win the championship? Absolutely. You look back at, when Casey Stoner came in, he was in the sort of LCR Honda squad, and then he went to the factory Ducati. Yes, the factory Ducati in 2007, I think it was. Because Hayden won it in 2006. So yeah, factory Ducati in 2007 when Stoner went to them was an absolute monster. It was when kind of everybody was changing to Bridgestones as well. Bridgestone had a massively good tyre. But he proved that, he didn't buckle under the pressure, which he could have done, fighting someone like Valentino, although I think, if I remember, that he did win it by quite a long way. And,
Get yourself sorted. We'll be deploying shortly.
Someone can come from a satellite squad and head to the factory's team and go in and win in the first year. So, yeah, I have no doubt that Jack could win. I think he's good enough as well. He's always been heralded as an amazing rider by people who know a lot more about MotoGP than me. So, yeah, he's definitely could certainly win the championship. Bagnaia, probably less of a known quantity really, Bagnaia. But probably today's race kind of showed actually he's mature enough to do it. He's got the speed. It's probably the consistency. Yeah, he had a couple of off weekends last year. Yeah, can he get that out of his? Can he get that out of his system? And make sure that he's consistent, because I think this year you're going to have to be consistent in the top 5 to win anything. So yeah, can he do that consistently every single time, bang bang bang? But you know, let's face it, the same could be said of Jack Miller. The same could be said of Quintaro. The same could be said of a lot of riders. I think the only rider that probably you can't say that about is Marc Marquez, who at the moment doesn't look like he could do a championship push. I think he'll be winning races, and I don't think it'll be too much longer either. But can he do the championship? No. I've not seen anything in the last 3 races that tell me he's going to be winning in the next probably 3 rounds. I think if he doesn't win in the next 3 rounds, he probably will struggle to win the World Championship. I think he will win multiple rounds this year, but I don't think he'll go on like a Marquez S 2019.
Alright lads, let's get it done.
Well, that's not going to help me. Oh my god, that's not going to help me either. Give me that back. So yeah, I don't think Marquez is...
Hostiles dropping into the area, watch the skies.
Anyone drop down? Don't know where they went. Okay, after the drop.
Hostile dropping into the area, watch the skies.
So, yeah, I think, you know, Ducati have got a really good team. They've got a good bike. Are they ready to win the championship? It's anyone's guess. I personally would put them up there just because the bike is so good, and if they get somebody who can consistently be up there in the top sort of 5 at every race, who can show the consistency that a World Championship push brings,
You've got gas moving in.
I think that, yeah, they could win the championship.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Never say never from that point of view.
Target marked. Send it.
This is Striker 3-1, good copy. Strike inbound.
What do you know?
No hits on that run.
Let's go and get the load out.
Friendly loadout drop on the way.
So this is my Quig loadout. This is my current, I'd say, favourite AR. Put a 3x scope on.
Enemy UAV overhead.
It hits like a train. Quite honestly, it's like a train. Okay, no one about. This is the Pit Viper blueprint for the MP5, the Cold War MP5. Again, I kind of dabbled with this a little bit, but yeah, certainly worth trying out because it's if you can handle the recoil, it is a good weapon to have. So yeah, that's the Ducati pairing, Miller, Bagnaia. Don't know where that was coming from. Can they win it? Of course they can. It'd be stupid to say no. Let's see what happens.
Enemy UAV overhead.
That kind of feeds nicely onto the next.
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead. Loadout drop headed your way. Got gas inbound. Safe zone relocated. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead. Be advised, there's an enemy team hunting you. Gas is closing in.
That was unlucky. I'll get him. So yeah, just wanted to sort of lastly talk about Yamaha. Is it a Yamaha versus Ducati?
You're in the gulag
Yeah, this
now.
year.
Fight to earn redeployment. Listen up, soldier. Win here
that was
and
the
you
easiest
return
win
to
I've
the
ever
front
had.
line. But if you lose, you're done.
Is it a Ducati versus
You gave them a
Yamaha?
proper
Yeah.
sorting. Stand by for redeployment.
The first. Probably should have took Ghost there, to be honest, but not bad. At least I've got my guns. In the last 5 races we've had now, got 2 Qatar, Portimao, Jerez, Le Mans. We've seen Yamaha and Ducati dominate. There's not really another word to describe it. You know, we've seen them dominate. Cantaro picking up 2 wins. Miller picking up 2 wins. Vignales picking up 1 win. So does it feel like it's going to be one of those years where it's just going to be the 2 manufacturers? I think, you know, if you just look at well, that's what I was going to go back in there for, and there's no need now, so that's good.
Gas is closing in. Relocating the safe zone.
Okay. That's where a lot of people are going to have to move now, so let's take a bit of a rotation around here, get more cover.
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead.
That's not good, that amount of UAVs going up. Burger as well. I've got enough for a loadout.
Enemy UAV overhead. Loadout drop headed your way. Gas is closing in. UAV overhead.
I think rather than look at what we know about the Yamahas and the Ducatis and them being very fast, very consistent, I think we've got to look at the rest of the grid. You know, Ducati and Yamaha have stepped it up. There's no question this year. Last year, obviously, we had the valves with Yamaha, which meant they had to stretch four engines across so many weekends. It was untrue. So they had to turn basically the power down, and the Yamaha isn't a particularly powerful bike versus everybody else anyway. So yeah, you're kind of always going to think, okay, you're going to massively struggle, and we know they've got a lot of
enemy UAV overhead.
we know they've got a lot of reliability. We saw that Morbidelli's engines had kind of done, I think, at least 2 times the amount they needed to do or should do. This is dangerous. This is very dangerous. So they've got the reliability. They're good at what they're good at, and they've kind of solved the what you'd call the biggest weakness. Well, they've only got one kill. That's a gulag. Don't think I've been in a quiet lobby. It has disappeared quite quickly as well. So yeah, we know that they're going to be strong. What about the competition?
Gas is inbound. Marking new safe zone.
Honda, I think without Marquez, they've got no one that will really be able to challenge.
Enemy UAV overhead.
At all. Pole, I like Pole, but don't think he's a MotoGP championship winner. It's a good rider, don't get me wrong. I just don't see him winning the MotoGP championship. You know, and the Honda, obviously, we know is been a difficult bike to ride for everybody, apart from Mark, although I think he obviously finds it occasionally a bit too difficult.
Losing ground.
But you know, you've had no
bounty target identified. Slot the bastard.
you've had no
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead. Bounty target is down. Well done.
and you can see the difference between the Krig and the AN there. The Krig just destroyed him, and the AN would have probably allowed him to move and get out of the way. So
Enemy
yeah,
UAV overhead.
that shows you the difference. So yeah, Honda I don't feel have a rider that can take the Honda to kind of wins, really. I do like Nakagami, but he isn't a...
Gas is moving in. New safe zone located. Enemy UAV overhead. Only 10 are left. Loadout drop headed your way.
Yeah, there's not anything there. Anybody obvious there? This is finished in the middle of nowhere. I'm slightly concerned that this is going to be a truck finish, and I'm going to go and need to get my Strela. So yeah, Honda, you know, like Nakagami, Alex Marquez, one for the future. Can he get to the level of his brother? I would suggest probably not. I just think there's going to be a truck here. Just think there's going to be a truck, and therefore I'm going to need a launcher if I'm going to win this game. If they could do the business there and annoy each other enough to destroy each other's vehicles, and that's fine, but I just don't think they will. I think that truck will be still around.
Only 4 enemies remain. You know what to do.
4 enemies.
Gas is closing in. Relocating the safe zone.
Who else have we got? We've got Suzuki. You know, that they seem very similar to last year. Very middle of the road. There's no trucks. Where's that truck gone? Right. Take the bullfrog, because that's... Tell you, if there's a truck now, I'm going to be very annoyed.
Gas is closing in.
The trouble is here, there's so many. There's so many places. Definitely somebody over there. And they're all going to be out in the sticks, I think. Even though I've got cover now, the next circle's going to close. I mean, I'm going to have to move out of my cover. There's nobody here. Good to move.
Secure the win next time.
I do hate vehicles. Kills, fair play. He knows what he's doing.
Calling for airstrike on my target.
I've got to say, that's going to take him out. Good game, that. That's a fair play to him. So yeah, Suzuki, similar to last year. Very good bike. I mean, they're turning I can't remember, was it Rins today on, I don't think it was Marquez. Might have been Marquez, though. He's just turned inside the other bike, and he's just like, how is that possible? They've just got such a sweet handling bike, but you've now got Yamaha, who are, very, very good. And look like they've stepped it on quite a bit compared to last year, probably because they don't have to sort of worry about making their engines last as long. Mir, very good rider, very consistent, but he doesn't get the wins. He's not in the sort of mix of 1-2, every week, even in podium contention every week. But he's consistent. He doesn't tend to throw it down the road. And even though he did do today, it's down to the conditions, as simple as that. Rins, it's just consistency from Rins. He's got the speed, but he just oversteps the mark more often than a lot of other riders. And he probably should have won the championship last year. But the sort of second half of the year, he was absolutely flying. But the first half, he struggled on. So, yeah, Suzuki. They're going to be in the mix, and they'll be up there consistently, but I don't think they'll be in the podium hunt absolutely consistently. And if they are, they've got a rider in Rins which might throw it down the track, and therefore, but they will take points off other people. Aprilia, they are getting closer. The best result they've had is 6th so far. I think they'll beat that this year. Aleix was gutted. Obviously, something just went on the bike, and we obviously saw the other Aprilia come off with a big engine blow up as well. So I don't think they'll be able to say that that's electronics. So they're not going to be in the mix. Certainly consistently, they might be up there on a specific tracks, or have good weekends where it just works, but they're not going to put a championship challenge together. And KTM, they just can't make the tyres work. The allocation, I don't know if you've read about this, but Michelin have changed the allocations for a lot of the rounds, and they've taken away the softest of the tyres. And I think it's the softest of the non-asymmetric. And basically, KTM and Honda used that tyre quite a bit over the course of last year, especially when you saw KTM winning at Portimao and Austria. They've got a good bike, and you've seen sort of slight, just big. You've seen them come to the fore every now and again, but there's something not quite right, and all of the riders are struggling with it. So it does tell you that that's more on tyres than it is on the bike. So when you look at all of the teams all the way down the grid, I personally can't see anybody else that is going to be up there consistently battling with Yamaha or Ducati. So therefore, it turns into a Yamaha versus Ducati year. And we will get exciting races, and different people will be in the mix, but it's going to boil down to Yamaha or Ducati, and we know the story there. Ducati, bullet-like, they can really. The engine is just ridiculous. Zarco's engine is better. I don't know what it is about Zarco. I don't think he probably might have the same spec of engine than Muller and Bagnaia, but I don't know whether he just gets it down better, power out their corners. The speed he's got. I mean, even today, just pulling out and passing Cantararo, sorry. Just unbelievable. It's like they're in different classes almost. So yeah, it's very, very different bikes. Yamaha obviously very twisty. He likes to be on the side of the tyre, round corners. So any twisted circuits or circuits where you've got long, fast corners are going to suit the Yamaha a lot, and it's going to to and fro, and it's going to be exciting. But we're not going to have Hondas up there consistently, Suzuki's up there consistently, and that's what we want. We want that, and we want KTM to be up there, and we want Aprilia to be up there. And Aprilia and KTM, Aprilia certainly, they're close, but they're not close enough. KTM look like they've got issues with how the bike uses the tyre, and that is not an easy thing to do. So yeah, it's going to be exciting, but I think personally it's going to be Yamaha versus Ducati for this year's championship. Before I go, there is some Warzone kind of in here, so you're not probably going to see any crazy Warzone plays. No, I'm not an amazing player like some of the good streamers, but I'm okay. And just to go through kind of my sort of records, so kills, so 1.54. I've got 28 wins so far, 250 top 10s, and I've played 1,193 games. So yeah, a good player, but not a brilliant player, I think, is what you'd sort of say. And I'm happy with that. I don't have the time to sort of put into to get absolutely amazing at the game. But yeah, thanks for that's it. That's kind of my piece. I'm here every Sunday, 7:30 till 9, just talking about the latest in MotoGP. There'll be generally 3 things that I'm talking about for half an hour. And if you like what I'm doing, then like, subscribe, and come and visit me every Sunday, and let's have a discussion on what's going on in the world of MotoGP. And I will hopefully see you next week, where it will be an intermediate sort of stream where we're talking about some of the stuff that's come out of Jerez, maybe looking forward to Mugello, which is the next race, and just seeing what's going on, and maybe going into some technical stuff as well. Again, like, comment on the video if that's kind of what you want to see. If you want to go more into the technical sort of side, we can do a little bit of talking about sort of braking, the aero, how it all kind of works together to make these crazy bikes with 300 brake horsepower. And yeah, a lot of fun. But hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, comment, feedback's appreciated, and hopefully see you next week. Thanks, bye.